Hi guys. All right, thought I would do a painting bench video. And well, I guess first I'll start. So I did attend a convention near me here in Ohio. Unfortunately, I got no players. I brought the Satsura game. And it was kind of a small convention, so I didn't get any players, sadly. I did have one guy who came up and did play like a few turns, and that was nice of him. So, but kind of a bust, unfortunately. Did play in a fun Napoleonic game there. Part of not getting players was kind of my fault. I should have set up a little earlier, but you know, these things happen. But what I did learn with the Satsura game is if I do set it up with all of the figures, it does definitely take multiple people to manage it, because it's just a lot of figures. And if it's only 2 players with all of the figures, I could see it taking like a 6-hour game or something, just a lot to keep track of. So it was like 2v2 or 3v3. I think that would be optimal. Even 4 versus 4 or something. So I did learn that. Other than that, I haven't been super motivated to make like hobby videos, like miniature videos. I just haven't been painting. Things have kind of been piling up for me lately. Now I have I've had one article that I will one article in publication process, so I've have to go through the peer review for that. So I'm just at like the first step of that, just like initial revisions, and that'll take a while. And then I've got another presentation coming up that I had to prepare, do rewrites and stuff ahead of time. Things like that, plus just always reading and doing my translations for my main kind of research. That's just very time consuming. So anyway, but that aside, I did sorry, my assistant decided to jump off of the desk, so the camera's a little shaky. But that aside, I did end up, I have been working on stuff just very slowly, and I'm pretty happy with what I've been able to get done. So I did finish both of these pike blocks. I'm not sure if I showed both of them on the channel yet. I can't remember, but I've got, these are Blue Moon from their Italian Wars range. Very nice. I'm very impressed with these figures. They're not hyper detailed to the point where they're tedious to paint, and I think they give a good if you rank them up like this, they give you a nice visual of a pike block. I still have one more set of 9 to do, and then I think like from the initial pack I bought, there'll be like 2 more left over. So that's good. And then a bunch of this stuff, Kevin from the Kraus collection, he had some things that he wasn't using anymore, and he sent them to me, so I'm very thankful for that. So I didn't have to paint a bunch of this, but I did have to rebase it. So there was this Western stuff, and then Crimean Tatars, so these Pistoliers here, these Arquebusiers, and these heavy cavalry. So now, and also this like command group. Let me show that. But I ended up rebasing this, and I didn't have to repaint a lot. I just touched some things up, where the metal had kind of was poking through, things like that. But I was pretty more than satisfied with the original paint job, so I didn't see a need to completely redo them. And then also he sent me this cannon that was already done. I just kind of didn't really change much. I didn't even rebase this. I thought it was fine as is. And then he also sent me this cannon. This is a 7 Years War cannon, but one of the things was this, like, I think this is like a Cossack command group, but I thought, you know what the heck, I'll just paint it red, and it can be a Cossack gun, or it can be a Polish gun, or heck, even a Hungarian or Transylvanian gun for, like 16th or 17th century. So, another, doesn't hurt to have more artillery. And then some of this I've already shown on the channel, but I wanted to just talk about how now I pretty much have a small, Western contingent. It could be its own army, to be Habsburgs to fight my Ottomans, could be a battalion in a Western army, one small battalion. So yeah, it's pretty nice, and I'm pretty grateful for that. It did take some doing to do the rebasing, because it was done with like cat litter and like some really tough glue, but it was fine in the end. I just had to work through that and get it cleaned up. And then some of these figures I've shown, I painted a while ago, but they will fit right into this army, because I have these are from Khorasan. These are Knights of Malta musketeers for like mid to late 16th century. The arquebusiers here will be a good fit in with that. I mean, obviously there's some pretty significant scale differences. Like the Khorasan guys kind of look like almost like hobbits compared to the these chunkier arquebusiers, but it's fine. I mean, I don't. To me, it looks fine. Basically, I'm not going to complain. Miniatures are miniatures, as long as it's not too egregious. And then I've got these Renaissance light cavalry these are also Blue Moon, that I could work into this army potentially. I think there's a like more late medieval, like very early Italian wars. So, yeah, they're kind of different than like the mid 16th century like these guys, but that probably wouldn't hurt to throw them in to a scenario. And then these are like the Knights of Malta command groups. I didn't put any flags on them. Maybe I will eventually, but they look fine for me right now. Just to have another commander, because like I use these in my Satsura game as like Western commanders for the one of the wagon trains was commanded. I think he was a Czech or something, so I use him to represent that. But now I've also got this guy to do that. Yeah, and then I started work on the Swedes that my wife got me for Christmas. These are 15 millimeter from the Fire and Sword range. So I just did one. These are like the mercenary writers, but I'm thinking of doing mostly like grays and blues on them for colors, kind of more muted looking compared to like the reds I tend to use on my poles. But red, like gray, blue, and then maybe like I was going to experiment with this kind of like with the desert yellow color, because I think that's a good kind of neutral color for like early modern kind of clothing. Yeah, so that's and then I've got some of the stuff prepped. Let me try to zoom out, maybe that'll help a little bit. Yeah, I've got like, these are the foot arquebusiers from that Swedish set, and then I've got a bunch of them to do. And then I was gonna take, so this is one of the other guns that, packs that Kevin sent me, so I'm gonna go ahead, and I've got these extra, these are Cossacks from the wagon crew, so I'm just gonna stick them on the gun as crewmen, because they're kind of posed in such a way that they could pass for an artillery crew in 15 millimeters. So Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. I've just not been super motivated to paint lately. To be honest, when I'm kind of stressed or when I've got a lot going on, I just lose my interest in painting. For some people, it's like a release and they can get away. I wish that was the case for me, but just for whatever reason, I don't tend to do that. But yeah, that's what I've got painting wise. I was thinking about, because I played. So when I ran this, well, I didn't really run the game, but when I planned the Satsora game, I decided, okay, I'm just going to use Pike and Shot because it's easier, a little more rules light, and I can house rule stuff that's not going to get in the way of things that much. It did make me think about using Hail Caesar for when I play the Tamerlane game. Now I did get Armati, and I would run Armati to do the Tamerlane and Sultan Bayezid battle, but probably I would do that if I knew people that would be patient in learning the rules. I mean, Armati's not super complicated, but I think if I take it to a convention, Hail Caesar would be more immediately intelligible, and I can do all the house rules I want, and it's not going to mess up things. Well, one thing I was wondering, because I don't know if I could find the answer to this very easily online, but I do have this like pocket version of the Hail Caesar rules. Sorry, kind of a weird angle, but I don't know if it doesn't really have like complete army lists. It just has like generic unit types, but I don't know if in the main book it has like more in-depth army lists, because it does have let's see, brief guide to army lists. Yeah, it just has like Imperial Romans and Ancient Britons. Because this is from the Hail Caesar starter set. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be the same as if I had the full hardcover book. Maybe maybe someday if I feel like it, and it's not like gonna break my budget, I will pick up the full hardcover book. Warlord rules, frankly, are not my favorite, as I've discussed in previous videos, but they do work. They are the kind of I'll compare it to like McDonald's. When you're on the road and you just need something that what the food is and it's gonna be there. You go to McDonald's and it's right there, right? And that's kind of how I see Warlord rules. Do I want something a little more sophisticated? Yes, but they do work. I have to give them that. So I think with the Tamerlane game, I would probably at least try to run it with Hail Caesar eventually when I get to that point. For 2025 and probably next year as well, that is the main project. I'm slowly going to build up the Timurid army. When I can get some of the figures from Blue Moon, like the generic Turkomans and the Ghulam cavalry they have from the Crusades range, I'm going to get those, and then I'm going to get more of the Khorasan Timurids, and just slowly build that up. The Swedes that I've got now, this is just kind of like a side project that I'm gonna just build out the stuff that I got for Christmas, and then that's probably gonna be it for now, unless there's a really interesting battle I come across where maybe I want to expand the Swedes out a little bit more. But for now, I'm just happy to have the kind of small cavalry army with the one unit of foot, and then I also got another box that's some dragoons. And then probably, when I'm in Poland this summer, I might pick up a couple more boxes. I'm hoping they re-release the Cossacks but I don't know what they're re-releasing and what they aren't. And the Fire and Sword figures, I also have some issues with those, but they do sell the box sets, and that is really convenient. I have to give them big credit for that. That especially for a more esoteric period, the fact that there are box sets at all, and if you want to get into like Eastern Renaissance in the 17th century, and you just want like a box to get started with, that's what I would recommend, is like get the Fire and Sword one, but then also get like some stuff from Coruscant, or Blue Moon stuff. Blue Moon, I don't think they have Ottomans, but they do have some things you could use like in an Ottoman army or in a Tatar army, for example, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's what I've got going on, and I will probably do, well, I think when the Swedes are done, I'll do a more in-depth battle video, or not battle video, but like army showcase. And then, yeah, the other thing is just, it's hard to find historical gamers that are in my area that would be willing to meet more regularly, because it's nice to go to conventions and everything, but that's not always an option for cost or distance or whatever, or I've got other things going on. So, and I did join the HMGS Great Lakes, but I don't know, I can't seem to find people that would in my area that would want to meet up to game. So I don't know. Anyway, that's what I have. The other thing is, I did price out a Sasanian army from 19th century miniatures, and it would cost me about $150. So if I do get that kind of money at some point, probably it won't be anytime soon. It might not even be for another couple years that I could spend that all at once on miniatures. But if I do, I will probably get the Sasanians from them, and I could start that, because at this point I know I can paint up these big 15mm kind of step cavalry armies pretty quickly, relatively speaking. I wanted to do Sasanians for a while, so I think it would be fun. And then doing late Romans to fight them would, there's so many options for that. That would not be a difficult, it wouldn't be difficult at all to source the figures for that side of it. But the Sasanians, I did have to look a little bit to find something that was relatively affordable. And, because there are some companies in the UK, but I was happy that the 19th century miniatures in the US makes Sasanians too. So, okay, well, I think that's enough for me. I'm going to keep painting away, and thanks for joining me on the streams when I do those. There's no schedule for those. I just kind of do them when I feel like it. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you in the next video. Have a good day.